Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior and welcome to another Mortal Kombat video. Now in today's topic and discussion, since you lot surprisingly enjoyed the last video I made on the Shirai Ryu, today I'll be talking about the Red Dragon Crime Syndicate and why exactly do they worship the ancient Dragon King Onaga, and in what ways he's somewhat tied to the organization. Now to really understand this, we must talk about the birth and formation of the Red Dragons. As you see, although we never really go into detail of the clan, the Red Dragon organization is in fact a very old and ancient organization, being formed way before the events of the first Mortal Kombat game. It would be created out of defiance by the demigod and son of Argus, Daegon. Daegon himself is one of the prophesized victors of Armageddon, one half of the Doomsday Clock with his brother Taven. The pair were thrust into an apocalyptic quest against their will, both being cocooned until their presence was needed. And what quest is this? Well, it is the fabled Battle of Armageddon. You see, due to the fighters of each realm becoming far too strong to be bound by Mortal Kombat, a somewhat final solution and battle was set in motion, something that would quell the chaos. And whoever climbed to the very top of the Pyramid of Argus and defeated the fire elemental Blaze would transcend to godhood, permanently bringing an end to Mortal Kombat, and thus the battle and chaos created amongst the realms. Now, unlike Taven, Daegon woke up before his brother, and due to his early awakening, it somewhat altered his personality, having him become quite harsh, merciless, and bitter. So upon learning of his quest from his guardian dragon Karo, he would turn against his parents' prophecies, enslaving his own dragon, and he would murder both of his parents in cold blood. It's from here where the Red Dragon Crime Syndicate would be born, and with his parents gone, it somewhat solidified Daegon's malicious nature. From here, he would set his eyes on the Pyramid of Argus, as he still wished to fulfill his destiny, as he knew at the end of the tunnel he would transcend beyond godhood. But on his journey he did wish to keep an eye out for his brother Taven, wanting to remove him from the equation as he may interfere with his own plans. Now, fun fact about the Red Dragon logo, as well as the name, it isn't in fact something that was randomly chosen by Daegon. It was inspired by his guardian dragon Karo, as Daegon was seemingly infatuated by them and thus decided to name the clan after him, which is both flattering and unnerving, considering that he does chain the dragon down. Now, as the years passed by, the Red Dragon grew in numbers, and Daegon's interest in dragons grew exponentially. You see, dragons were a rather rare occurrence in the Mortal Kombat universe, and due to their powers and capabilities, they were held up in rather high regard, believed by many to be a symbol of the Elder Gods and of incredible divinity. They were majestic beasts, one of extreme power and capabilities that do go beyond mortal comprehension, and a perfect example and prime topic of this video is in fact Onaga. The Dragon King was unlike anything else within the Mortal Kombat universe. Physically, Onaga didn't resemble the serpent-like divine figures, but was more of a bipedal monster. It is unknown if he ever was truly a Dragon King, as this could simply be a self-appointed title, just to give you an idea of how scarce dragons are in MK, but his powers and capabilities proved to be something beyond supernatural. You see, Onaga became legend with his somewhat immortal army, but his army wasn't in fact immortal at all. As you see, Onaga's talent in necromancy was so uncanny that whenever one of his soldiers would fall in combat, he would immediately revive them from the dead. So it did give off the perception and belief that his army was immortal. On top of his skill in the dark arts, Onaga without a doubt was one of the strongest individuals to live in the Mortal Kombat universe, being so physically strong that it did put him on the Elder Gods' radar, as they could see him as a potential threat. His dragon scales were so thick that even the combined might of a master level necromancer, sorcerer, and god couldn't even pierce it. Onaga was nigh unstoppable, believed by many to be invulnerable. He was one of a kind, and Daegon wanted that type of power. The idea of having a weapon like this under his fingertips meant that his victory at Armageddon could more or less be guaranteed. He could wipe out his enemies in one full swoop, but there was just one huge problem with his plan. The Dragon King was long dead, being poisoned by his own advisor Shao Kahn, so Daegon couldn't use his DNA as a somewhat template for his army. But this is where Karo falls into his plan. You see, whilst he didn't have Onaga at his fingertips, he would go for the next best thing, and thus he would start to experiment with dragon DNA. Although much to his dismay, he was unsuccessful almost every single time. That is, up until the events of Mortal Kombat Deception, where after many failures, he would hunt down and get a strand of Reptile's DNA. As the Saurian was recently the host of the Dragon King Onaga before he was defeated and bound to the Netherrealm, so Daegon would go for the next best thing, believing that Reptile's transformation could be emulated, and after many failures, the Red Dragons were finally successful in creating what would be known as the Hybrid Dragons, a spliced combination of human, dragon, and Saurian DNA. But what is worth pointing out here is that the Hybrid Dragons looked far more dragon in their appearance than that of the Shokan, who they themselves are also half dragon. Now you do see and fight the Hybrid Dragons in the Conquest mode of Armageddon, but their existence doesn't last very long, as once Karo is free, Taven and the dragon team up together and not only destroy the Red Dragon facility, but every single Red Dragon hybrid housed there. So the fruits of Daegon's labor are ultimately flawed, as whilst they were able to gain the appearance of dragons, they lacked their sheer power and durability. So his own dreams of having a dragon army would die. Now this idea would be briefly touched on once again during the rebooted timeline in the Mortal Kombat X comic book series. After Goro's arms are severed by Outworld's at the time ruler Kotal Khan, he would seek out the Red Dragons for assistance. And in this timeline, it seemed like Daegon still has interests in dragons, being aware of Onaga's regenerative capabilities. As from what you can quite tell, this is something that Goro is indeed interested in. But that really does cover everything regarding the Red Dragon's connection to Onaga. Hopefully this video was able to connect some dots as to why the Red Dragons are quite infatuated with the Dragon King. Now in all honesty, I think it isn't so much the Red Dragons being linked to Onaga, but more so the fact that Daegon himself is just a big fanboy of dragons. It is clear that he's infatuated by their power and divinity and wishes to, in one way, shape or form, emulate the power that was shown by Onaga. Possibly with his own divinity, he believes that he can surpass the legend of the Dragon King, as he wanted to emulate the idea of an immortal army. Or it may not be that deep at all, and he may just be a simple big fan of dragons. As I mean, might I add that Daegon actually has a dragon tattoo on the left side of his face, and the two swords he wields are called Drake swords. It may simply be because Daegon has a thing for dragons, but I'm gonna leave out that idea for people that wish to write gratuitous fanfiction. But that covers everything I did wish to say here in this video. I hope you have enjoyed it and learnt more by doing so. I'm actually having a lot of fun diving into video topics like this, as it's stuff that I've never actually considered or explored before. So if you yourself have any interesting ideas in mind, please put it down in the comment section below, and I may indeed make a video expanding on this idea. But until then, that will be it for this video. So before this video wraps up, if possible guys, let's try getting it to about 500 likes, and also please do not forget to tick that bell, as it will notify you of all future Mortal Kombat content on the way. So now, as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I will see you all next time.